Hello, RotoGrinders. This is Brett from Team KillaB. This is going to be a new segment where I take one of my lineups and we just go through and analyze it. So for week 3, there was a ton of fantasy scoring, the most fantasy scoring I've ever been a part of. So this should be an interesting week to look at lineups. We will be dissecting my DraftKings tournament/league lineup. It's a lineup that I put into basically everything that the top 20 to 30% cash. So let's dive in. So let's start off at quarterback. We took a gamble on Nick Foles against the Pittsburgh porous defense. This game was the second highest over-under game on the slate. Had a good feeling that to win the game, St. Louis would have to pass the ball, and that didn't really happen. They actually didn't run the ball or pass the ball. So 12-6 game, with the game being the second highest over-under, if you bought pieces of this game, you were definitely not happy with it. Nick Foles had 197 yards and 10 rushing yards. Not what we were looking for. We did not pair him up with a wide receiver or tight end here, which I normally do in a GPP or league. Just too much of a gamble with his wide receivers. Jared Cook actually bought pieces of him in cash games, so I don't mind that play if you did. It would have saved you quite a bit of money with 2,800 here, but we didn't do that. So moving on, I was confident in Dion Lewis here to return value. He didn't disappoint. New England had one of the highest point totals of the day, and liked him to get a score, which he did. But notice that almost all of his usage here was in the first half. He had 5 catches, 30 yards, rushing touchdown, 37 yards rushing. So like that performance, but in the second half, it was all LeGarrette Blount time. He scored 3 touchdowns. You can tell just moving forward, just be aware that when New England has the 2 touchdown lead, it's going to be LeGarrette Blount carrying the ball. Dion Lewis had 2 fumbles in the first 2 games, so I'm sure Belichick is very concerned with that. So I don't see Dion Lewis carrying the ball or touching the ball too much if New England's in the lead by quite a bit. So Sproles here was a simple insert when I got news on DeMarco sitting out. His 2 TDs saved his below-average performance here. But, at $3,800, you tell me you're going to get 15 touches out of a guy. I love that. I also don't mind if you bought Ryan Matthews here. Both of their usage is going to go up with no DeMarco on the lineup. So, I bought Sproles here thinking he's a little bit more of a favorite catch the ball. With DraftKings scoring system, you get a point per reception. So that's why we want Sproles, and it paid off. 19.6 DK points. I'm happy with that. So, and then now moving on to wide receivers, Randall Cobb. I was on Cobb the whole week. When we got news that Eddie Lacy might not play, and we had a nicked up Devontae Adams, who are the Packers going to trust to get their points? To me, it was pretty obvious that Cobb was going to be used quite a bit in this offense this week. What I'd love to see is kind of a new thing the Packers have been doing. When Kansas City was stacking the box, they would be in a run play. You could tell Rodgers would audible out of the run and then throw a quick bubble screen to Cobb. And it worked multiple times for touchdowns. So just know that going forward, they have a couple different options there around the goal line. If the defense stacks the box, well, they're going to just throw a pass, bubble pass. And if it's not stacked, they'll go ahead and run it also. So, Brandon Marshall, I loved him this week. Had him 100% across the industry. Just love the matchup here versus Byron Maxwell. And very confident with the pace that Philadelphia brings that he's going to get a lot of usage. His real life game though was not as great as his fantasy game. He had plenty of drops at the end, especially in the second half, and then that botched pitch back for a fumble that really kind of cost him the game. Don't know what he was thinking on that one, but yeah, happy returned the value here with 10 catches, 109 yards and touch. So can't complain about that. Demaryius Thomas, this was a GPP play that I loved. I wanted to get the least owned guy that's also maybe the most talented wide receiver in the league. I feel like he comes at quite the discount here, though, about $1,000 discount from the top three guys, mainly due to Peyton Manning's play the first few weeks. So love that he returned the 9 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown, but he did have a fumble at the end of the game, and it was a minus 12-yard fumble, so we did lose out on a DK bonus there due to the fumble going backwards. So moving on to Gronk, now let's just say, other than that he's a beast, he's got the highest ceiling in the NFL due to his touchdown equity. Love the matchup. Can't believe New England scored 51 Gronkless points here. How he doesn't get a hand in any of those points is pretty amazing. But we still did get the DK 100-yard bonus here. 4 catches, 101 for 17.1 DK points. Still not happy. With a week like this week, you want to utilize every dollar spent, and Gronk not only having 17 points is still kind of frustrating. So Moncrief in the flex. So yeah, we're hoping for a bounce back game here out of luck. The value on Moncrief at 4,800 was just really too good to pass up. What you notice is if a guy plays in a Monday night game, his price stays the same next week. And Moncrief's usage the first 2 weeks was just phenomenal. So moving forward in week 3 with his price being stagnant, he seemed like a must buy. TY is still somewhat nicked up. The touchdown actually saved us here, though. I mean, the 4 catches, 32 yards, not as much, looking for more usage out of him there, but the touchdown really saved his price here. So, and then the Panthers defense. This one hurts the most. I was on Arizona all week. But decided by Carolina last minute with the news that Breeze is going to be sidelined. So I do make a lot of tournament plays based upon last-second news or any type of reports that I get. Panthers D and Sproles being the 2 in this lineup. If I would have went with the Arizona defense, this lineup would have cashed a lot more. I believe they put up 28 points, so that would have been a plus 23. But I did buy them in other areas, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, this lineup put up 167.88 points. Great showing on an average week, if it was an average week. But this one wasn't. It was the highest scoring week ever. So we were about in the 40th percentile here, so we didn't cash too much money. But always next week. So that was our week 3 performance. Hoping for better days ahead. Throw any comments or suggestions in the comments below. Definitely could utilize those. But I hope you guys like the new segment here. And have a good week. On to week 4.